AITA for letting dad sue mom for child support to escape my arranged marriage. My parents divorced when I was 10, and I mostly lived with my mom. Mackenzie's parents, she is also 16, are still together. When our parents found out she was pregnant, her parents kicked her out, and my mom kicked me out. So now, we live at my dad's house. During the pregnancy, my dad sued my mom and got full primary custody of me. I know what that means because I had to go to court for my own daughter. He also sued Mackenzie's parents to get legal guardianship of her, and now child support is paid for her, too. They are furious and refuse to speak to us. I am in my old room, my daughter is in hers, and my ex is in the guest room, which is now her room. My dad made a deal with us. We live at his place rent-free until we turn 18. At 18, we will have to figure out our next steps. I was not great in school, and Mackenzie always had excellent grades, so I got my GED. My dad enrolled me in a welding program at the local technical college. I finish in 2 months. I also work a full-time job, so I go to my welding classes at night. Mackenzie is still in high school and works weekends at Wendy's. This whole thing is a huge mess. We literally have no life. My dad helps, but not that much, because he feels this is our responsibility. I agree, but it is still hard. I work from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. in a warehouse, and I go to school from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mackenzie gets home from school at 2:30 p.m. and picks up our daughter from daycare. We help each other a lot. Then I leave for my classes, and she stays home with the baby until I get back, and we start all over again, day after day. When our daughter was born, my dad made us go to court to establish custody. We have a 50-50 custody arrangement, and I do not pay child support because she lives with both of us. Since I work full-time, I was able to get health insurance for my daughter and me, which is tough because it costs $300 a month and daycare costs $100 a week. Mackenzie's weekend job basically just covers daycare, and I pay for everything else. When we are short on money, my dad helps out because he sees we are making an effort. My dad has been our rock. When we are exhausted and at the end of our rope, he takes over and gives us a break, but he makes sure we have everything we need and keeps us motivated. Mackenzie wants to enroll in college soon, and I am worried because I do not want to keep living with her, and I do not think I can have our daughter full-time as a welder working 12-hour days. But she says she will start at a community college and keep working, and she wants to continue living together because it is easier. Since I will be working, it would be better if we stayed at my dad's. But my dad said at 18, we would have to start paying rent. That does not bother her, but I do not want to keep living with her because we are no longer together. I do not know how to tell her. My dad thinks she should stay with us as long as she is a full-time student so she can finish her degree, since I am already getting mine. I just feel like this is all unfair because the biggest part of the burden falls on me. I think I am just venting because I am scared and I do not know what all this means. My problem with her living with us is that we have become more like brother and sister. We get along well, we joke around, but since she is my ex, it is weird. Maybe I just need to breathe because everyone says it is actually a good situation. I also needed to hear it from other people and not just my dad. He is really great, and I should thank him. Maybe take him out to dinner or something. My dad is not kicking us out at 18, but he wants us to be realistic about the real world of accounts and bills. The money he gets from Mackenzie's parents, he gives to her. She is saving for a car and uses the rest for her food and personal things. Before I became a father, my dad always wanted me to live with him after I turned 18, to figure things out and save up to buy a house. When he found out I was going to be a father, he did not get mad, but he was disappointed and said everything had to change. He is also paying for my welding program, which costs $20,000, and he bought my car, but I have to pay my own insurance. He will help as long as he sees we are trying and not being lazy. When school started again, he took my daughter to daycare every morning and helped Mackenzie set up a routine to do her homework. I have to go to class now. Mackenzie wants to be a nurse or an assistant in the healthcare field. In middle school, they told her that nursing school is competitive and it is better to have a strong high school diploma. That is why she is still in high school and works weekends. But someone mentioned a dual enrollment program at the community college, and we are going to look into it. We could not get government assistance for daycare because we are minors, and they took my dad's income into account. The funny thing is, I cannot open a checking account for myself because I am a minor, but the bank let me open a custodial account for my daughter because I am her father. The irony. I read every comment. and it gave me a different perspective. I think college seemed very far away, and I was counting in years, but in reality, it is not that terrible. She is a bit like a sister now. And for those who asked, I doubt we will get back together. Honestly, I am not thinking about that right now. I am too tired to think about a relationship or that kind of future. Update 1. I do not know why I feel like I have to do an update, but here it is. Kinsey and my dad went to the community college and managed to get her enrolled in some college-level classes based on her grades. She is not going to graduate high school super early, but she will have enough credits to finish by next December, so 6 months ahead of schedule. She reapplied for financial aid, and we got a voucher for daycare. So now, it is only $50 a week. She quit her job to focus on school, but her college classes do not start until the spring semester, so it gives her some breathing room. She still wants to be a nurse, so that is great. I found a new, better-paying job as a forklift operator, and the company is going to offer me a welding apprenticeship that I can start in November or December when I am done with my program. Then, I have to do a 2-month apprenticeship, but I will be paid very well. I started on Monday. My dad and I had a long talk about my fears. He reassured me, telling me it was normal to be scared, but that we had a plan. He is renovating the basement to turn it into a small apartment with 2 bedrooms and a living area, because he said Kinsey and I would need our own space as we got older. He wants me to buy the house from him when I am established, just like he did with his parents, and he will help me with the financing as long as Kinsey can stay until she finishes her studies and can make her own decision. We all agreed this was the best option, and we are much happier now. I think I just needed to let it all out. Kinsey and I are doing very well. Being a parent is hard, but things are going well now that we feel a bit more secure. My mom and Kinsey's parents still have not spoken to us because we are not married, which makes me sad. But it is okay, we have my dad. Kinsey's grandparents bought her a car and said that was all they could do for her, and that we should not contact them again until we are married. The car needs repairs, but I am going to pay to get them done. The brakes, suspension, and some routine maintenance need to be taken care of. My dad finally explained to me what happened, and I did not know the full story. It opened my eyes to the whole situation. My dad met my mom in high school. They were together and got caught in a compromising situation. Since my mom's family is very strictly Baptist, they insisted that my dad marry her. I did not know that in Missouri, parents could give consent for their children to marry as young as 15. That is why my dad was so protective. They were going to do the same thing with Kinsey and me because she was pregnant, and when my dad stepped in, they could not go through with it. My mom and Kinsey's dad had already gone to get a marriage license for us and planned to have us married in their church. Honestly, I might not have minded marrying Kinsey, but I would have preferred to do it on our own terms, later in life. Anyway, that is why they do not speak to us anymore. My dad said if it had happened, he would have helped us get the marriage annulled, but for now, we have no intention of talking to them. He explained to me that Kinsey is in a vulnerable position, and that even if I am scared, she is even more scared because she has no one. He said I need to reassure her by showing her that we are here for her, like a family. I guess I was not seeing things from that angle, and it felt good to talk about it with him. I hugged my dad, and since then I hug him every day. It is nice, and it has brought us closer. All this information made me sad and grateful at the same time, and it really helped Kinsey and me to start communicating better. We were talking before, but not really talking, and I did not realize she was just as scared as I was. Now we are setting up what my dad calls youth days. So, each of us goes out with the few friends who still talk to us at least once a week. And Kinsey and I do a lot more things on weekends now that she is not working. We take our daughter, Josie, to the park or go for walks. We also went to a pumpkin patch. Josie seems happier too, and Kinsey does not look as tired anymore. Anyway, thanks everyone for the help, advice, and encouragement. I doubt I will do another update. I am just going to stay in the shadows to read parenting advice. I just want to say thank you to those who think I am a good dad, but I still have a hard time believing it. I rely heavily on my dad to help me. Kinsey and I are doing our best. We are taking parenting classes, which give us a lot of advice, and we have made some friends there, which is nice. My dad made it a rule that we participate. He also got Kinsey enrolled in the federal WIC program and made sure we attended co-parenting classes. Update 2. Damn, I finally logged back into this account and had a ton of messages. I found this post and honestly, I was not expecting the response. Anyway, Here is the update. Kinsey and I are now 18. I made my first post 2 years ago, and Josie is now 2 years old. My dad is doing great. He finally has a girlfriend, and of course, he met her at Kinsey's community college. Her name is Mara, and she is an admissions counselor. Kinsey is studying nursing at the community college and is absolutely crushing it. She is on track to get her associate's degree in nursing, and then she will work on her bachelor's later. As for me, I am a full-fledged welder now and make a pretty good living. Kinsey and I got back together. We started dating again on New Year's when she kissed me, and it just felt right. But she was very clear, we are dating. So, she is in the finished basement apartment, and I am in my room upstairs. She makes me send her a text to ask for permission to come down to her room. It is a fun little ritual between us. And yes, I am going to marry her someday. We do family therapy 4 times a month, 2 sessions via video call and 2 in person because of our schedules. We found that it helps us a lot. It is a bit like couples therapy, but for our whole family dynamic. I am not great at communicating, and it has helped me immensely during stressful times with Kinsey and Josie. I feel like I have aged 20 years in just 2. I definitely do not feel like an 18-year-old. I feel much older. Josie is the happiest little girl in the world, and she literally lights up a room. I honestly cannot imagine my life without being with her every single moment. She calls my dad Pa, and he is completely crazy about her and spoils her all the time. I love being her dad. I love taking naps with her, and since she is a real daddy's girl, she is literally my shadow. It drives Kinsey a bit crazy, but she is also very happy about it. We go on dates, we go out to dinner or to the movies, and sometimes we just sit in the car talking and laughing, mostly laughing. My dad has changed a lot, and the 4 of us are very close. He is so happy, and I think his girlfriend gave him his spark back. He always drops weird little life lessons on us. For example, if Kinsey gets annoyed and walks away, he will say, "An irritated woman tends to go shopping to blow off steam. Can you afford that?" Just little remarks like that. I have not spoken to my mom at all, and I have no intention of doing so. Kinsey's parents came back and tried to reconnect with her, but they always made her feel bad about the past. So, she cut ties with them for her own peace of mind. My dad wants us to buy the house, and I told him we never plan on moving. I told him I will buy the house when I am 30, when Kinsey and I get married. She said not until she finishes her studies and finds a job. So, no wedding bells for at least 2 years. If you ask Kinsey, she says she does not plan on getting married until she is 28, so maybe even later. My dad is the best. He is the one who woke me up. Back then, I saw everything as a burden. I was running on adrenaline. Honestly, from the moment she told me she was pregnant to the moment I wrote that first post, everything is a blur. I was scared and completely lost. I was exhausted and could not think straight. Everything was confusing. Kinsey and I talk a lot about the fact that whatever happens in our future, she is my family. We are a family. At 16, I just wanted to be with my family. My mom left. It was just my dad and me, then a baby, and now a girlfriend. I know it might sound selfish, but that is how I was thinking, and I felt really overwhelmed. Therapy and my dad helped me a lot. I would not say I have completely moved on from that fear, but I found my own voice, as if I can finally be myself and use my words. I used to keep everything inside, and when my dad said certain things, it really hit me. Update 3. My dad, who is 38, trusted me not to ruin a surprise. He is going to ask his girlfriend, Mara, who is 33, to marry him on his birthday in 2 weeks. I helped him pick up the ring when it was ready, and I have been hiding it for a month. Mara spent the weekend with us, and she was acting strange. I do not mean that in a negative way, but usually she is up early and super cheerful. This weekend, she looked very tired and different. I heard my dad yell towards the basement, "We will be right back." I answered, "Okay." I went upstairs to get some snacks out of boredom and walked into the guest bathroom without thinking about the fact that the door might be closed. She was in there, looking at a pregnancy test. We made eye contact, and I immediately closed the door again. I waited for her to come out or say something, but I heard her crying. I knocked, opened the door, and she looked at me and said she was pregnant. Then she started sobbing. My first reaction was to want to scream with joy, then reality caught up with me. I am 18. My dad is starting a new life. I have a daughter, and my dad is already a grandfather. She asked me to keep the secret and thinks she is about 9 weeks along. She still has to get it confirmed by a doctor. But here I am. I am finally going to be a big brother. I cannot be the one to break the big news to him. I told her to wait for my dad's birthday because he is going to love it. I know my dad. He is going to be thrilled, probably a little scared, but definitely very excited. My dad helped me become a pretty good father and even a good partner to my girlfriend. He is an amazing dad and grandfather. Now, we are both going to be fathers at the same time. I cannot wait to tell him. Did you check the baby's diaper? Sorry, I had to let that out. I cannot say anything to my girlfriend, my dad, or my future stepmom. For clarification, she is happy to be pregnant, but also overwhelmed. She was crying because she did not think it could ever happen. She was with her ex for 6 years and never got pregnant. And yes, I am 18, almost 19. I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and my girlfriend and I live in the finished apartment in the basement of my dad's house. I survived dinner, and Mara brought up the subject of babies. My dad laughed and said, "Oh, that would be amazing, but it is not in the cards for us, because Mara thought she could not have children." He also mentioned maybe adoption or more grandkids from me. Well, she is going to have to wait a long time for other grandkids. I learned my lesson. We talked about my dad's birthday. Mara's mom is making his favorite dish, enchiladas. The party will be at the house after we convinced my dad to have a small get-together with Mara's parents and siblings, us, and a few close friends. Mara thinks she is going to surprise him, and he thinks he is winning because he gets to have his family around him. I feel like everything is going really well, and I will do an update when it happens. In the meantime, I really appreciate having this space to vent. I am not on here often because I am switching from my 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. shift to the afternoon shift, and I am also in training for this new schedule. Update 4. These past 2 weeks have been hell trying to keep everything to myself without letting anything slip. But here is how it all went down. It took me a while to write this because I have been very emotional. Monday, my dad tried to sleep in as usual, but my daughter was not having it. So, we made him breakfast in bed, and they watched Disney movies and danced until 11 a.m. The rest of the day, I cleaned the house and got everything ready for the evening. My girlfriend Kinsey went to pick up Mara's parents at 3:30 p.m., and they got to the house at 4. Mara arrived around 4:30. A quick side note. Mara's parents are older and live with her in her house to save money so they can retire earlier, probably spending winters somewhere warm and summers here with Mara. Dinner was amazing, and everyone had a great time. Josie definitely stole the show trying to help blow out Pa's candles, but he did not mind. The whole time, my heart was racing, and I was trying to figure out how to help my dad propose and help Mara announce the baby. Here is how it was supposed to go. My dad had put the engagement ring in a gift bag to make it look like a gift for him, and he planned to open it at the end to surprise her. On her end, Mara wanted her gift to be opened last, with the ultrasound inside, to surprise him. Except that was not working because they were both being stubborn about whose gift should go last. Once again, I found myself playing mediator because they were not listening, and I did not want her to get upset. We finally managed to convince him to open Mara's gift before his. Arguing with the birthday boy was getting me dirty looks from everyone, and Kinsey ended up elbowing me in the ribs to make me stop. I was a nervous wreck. My dad opens Mara's gift and sees the framed ultrasound. He did not look at the name or anything, just the picture. He looked at me, then looked at Kinsey, and yelled, "You are pregnant. I am getting another grandchild." He yelled it so loud that everyone started congratulating Kinsey. Kinsey yelled back, "Not at all." Everyone looked confused. Mara, laughing despite a little sniffle, said, "No, I am the one who is pregnant." My dad froze, staring blankly for what felt like an eternity, but was actually about 10 seconds. Then he asked, "Are you sure?" She said yes and showed him her name on the ultrasound, and then my dad started crying and hugging her. He was so happy, his hands were shaking, and he hugged everyone, saying he was going to be a father again. I gave him a little nudge. He ran to get his gift bag, got down on one knee, and asked her to marry him. At that point, everyone was crying. Mara said yes. Honestly, we could have ended a drought with all those tears. Mara's mom almost had a heart attack from joy, and her dad kept hugging Mara and my dad. Kinsey was shocked that I kept all this to myself for so long without telling her anything. Yes, I told him that if he ever plans a gender reveal party, he should stress someone else out, not me. All that stress literally made me nauseous. Here is why I have been sensitive and why I took a while to write. When my girlfriend was pregnant, I did not feel that joy and happiness that my dad felt. He is so excited, and now he is engaged, and it shows all over his face. He kept touching Mara's belly and kissing it. When Kinsey told me she was pregnant, I was scared and wanted to run away. I love my daughter, and she is amazing. But even after the doctor appointments, Kinsey and I would cry because everything was becoming too real, and we were not happy. I would not change anything that happened, but a part of me feels robbed of something. Obviously, it is our fault, but that does not erase that feeling. Then another reality hit me. Mara has her own house, her own family. My dad has us. But me, I now have my own family, and all of this is going to change everything. When he moves in with her, I will take over the mortgage payments. I was planning to build my credit to get approved, but I thought I had more time, and I feel like that time was yesterday. And now, what about my family? Kinsey does not want to get married out of necessity, but out of desire. But if something happened to me, where would she go? Where would my daughter live? How do I secure her future like my dad did for me? Anyway, I hope this was the update you were waiting for. I mostly want to thank everyone for giving me the strength to keep this secret. When I felt like I was going to explode, I would come back and read the comments. Update 5. I received a lot of messages asking for an update, which is really nice, but it is also weird to see my life on other platforms. And now, Kinsey has seen them and told me I should continue. So here goes. It has been 7 or 8 months. Mara and my dad got married. He is living his best life, though it was not without drama because of my mom. When she found out my dad was having another baby and getting remarried, she had a complete breakdown. She started calling him to the point of harassment. He did not care until she went after Mara. And then, he put a stop to it all. I do not know what he did, but he went to her house, and I have not heard anything since. The rumor is he threatened to expose her behavior to her church and point out how unchristian it was. Apparently, that was enough. Mara is about to give birth. She is 38 weeks pregnant, and soon I will be the big brother to a little sister. On our end, Kinsey is crushing it in college. She is taking 5 classes a semester on an accelerated track for her degree. If she holds on without burning out, she should finish at the beginning of next year. Then, she will take a gap year before going back for her BSN nursing degree, ideally online. The hospital where she hopes to work should offer some sort of tuition reimbursement, so we do not have to pay for everything out of pocket. Josie is doing great and will start kindergarten this fall. We are nervous because she has always been home with us and taken care of by us. The idea of her being somewhere else and us not having total access to her is scary. Work is going really well, and I have made good friends there. I thought about joining the Welders Union for the benefits and future retirement, but my company does not like the idea of me joining and offered me more money not to, which to me is a huge red flag. My dad moved in with Mara and her parents, and I now pay half the mortgage as well as the house utilities. The goal is for me to buy the house from my dad in the next few years to take the burden off him of maintaining a home for me and my family. Therapy is going really well. We cut couples and family therapy down to once a month because, during my individual sessions, my therapist suggested an evaluation for ADHD and depression. It turns out I do have ADHD, which explains a lot of things, especially regarding school and my thoughts going all over the place. Now, I am on medication, and it is like my brain finally woke up. I have far fewer emotional meltdowns, and I no longer let myself get overwhelmed by anxiety as easily. It has helped Kinsey and me enormously. It is easier for me to put my emotions into words and stop letting them build up in my head, causing chaos. I started the Wheel of Time book series, and since many said the books were better than the show, I read the first one. I have to admit this is the first time I can honestly say I have read a whole book. When I think back to high school, I never actually read the assigned chapters. I just skimmed to get by. I cannot explain how much happier we are now. Mara's parents have been the grandparents we always dreamed of having. They treat us with so much love and respect, and they adore Josie. They take her to the park and sometimes drop by just to check on Kinsey and me. We are constantly at Mara's place. We go there twice a week for dinner, and Josie is so eager to meet the baby. We are all very excited. Kinsey and I have had some very serious conversations. Even though we are very far from being ready for another baby or for marriage, we agreed to talk about marriage and expanding our family again when we turn 25. We do not want to rush any more than we already have, and she wants to focus on her studies and career. Yes, we thought about getting married for the legal benefits in case something happened to me, such as life insurance, the house, etc. But my dad helped us find a lawyer to set up a will and a trust. Our main goal is to take care of Josie, save money, and plan a family trip to Disney this summer. Update 6. Hello everyone. There were a lot of requests for a new update, and I still cannot believe how invested strangers on the internet are in the roller coaster of my life. Before you ask, no, she is not pregnant or anything like that, but Kinsey now works at the ER front desk to help with her clinicals, meet people, and get a good placement. After Christmas, Kinsey got really sick and could not shake a weird cough that got worse at night. It got so bad that we took her to the ER, where they said she had an upper respiratory infection. They gave her steroids and an inhaler, but her condition worsened. Finally, after she passed out at work, she was diagnosed with atypical pneumonia, also known as walking pneumonia, and she had to stay in the hospital for 2 days because it was so serious. At the hospital, they asked who her next of kin was and wanted to call her parents. My dad tried to show the guardianship papers, but since we are technically no longer minors, he is no longer her legal next of kin. Luckily, she was able to speak enough to tell the hospital that we were her family, but it was a serious wake-up call. When she came home, she was still recovering, and we started talking very seriously about our future, where we are in life, and how adulthood hit us all at once. Even though we are happy together and ready to go all the way, we really need to stop just playing house. She brought up everything she had learned in her college law class regarding wills, advance directives, and powers of attorney. But it was more than just that. We also have a daughter, a life, and even if it is 1,000,000,000% earlier than planned, we had wanted to wait until we were 28 to 30 to get married. It was the right decision for us. My dad sold me the house. We did owner financing directly between us, going through a title company and lawyers to make it official. And Kinsey and I decided to get married at City Hall. Do not worry, I did a real proposal with a videographer, and I dressed up nicely. I even wore a button-down shirt. For the City Hall ceremony, I wore a suit, and she wore a beautiful dress. Our friends and family were there to make the moment as special as possible. We plan to get married again in 2030 with a beautiful ceremony and a real reception. By then, she will have finished her studies, and maybe we will be adult enough for a honeymoon. Anyway, we have 5 years to plan everything. Since my dad moved in with Mara, our relationship has changed. We were no longer under the roof of Dad's house, even though he never interfered in our relationship. But no longer having a parent at home changed the way we act and helped us grow up, even if we are far from being full adults. For example, I forgot to buy toilet paper and other things that were always just there before, like magic. Regarding my dad, Mara, and my tiny little sister with the huge personality, she is amazing, and she and Josie adore each other. I cannot tell you how much seeing them together made us want another baby, but rest assured, we quickly shut that thought down. Even though we feel more financially stable, overall, we are not ready to take it to the next level with 2 kids. Dad and Mara are so in love that it is almost sickening, but it is really beautiful to see him so happy. Nothing major is going on besides trip planning. Going to Disney made us realize how much we want to travel, and Josie behaved so well that we now have a travel list for 2025. Maybe a road trip, but I still do not have a beard. I feel like a mom, dad, and kid road trip requires the dad to have a beard to be taken seriously. I do not know. Just random thoughts. A little more about current life. Josie is amazing. She has learned so much in such a short time, and we have met some really nice parents in her class. As a result, we now have people to hang out with. She is very sweet and talks nonstop from the moment she wakes up until the moment she falls asleep. She is a real chatterbox, definitely more talkative than us. She says whatever comes to her mind and asks a ton of questions. According to my dad, I was the same as a kid, then I quieted down as I grew up. It is nice to hear her in the background. When she is not talking, we know she is up to something. I am still at the same job. Welding is great, but I am still thinking about industrial manufacturing. It is a cleaner environment in the long run and will damage my body less, according to Kinsey. If I decide to explore other options, I still have a lot to learn, so I think when I officially reach 5 years of experience, it will be the right time. The guys at work are nice. It took them a little while to get used to me, but now they are quick to show me all their tricks. Comment. I truly believe that our greatest challenges often reveal the hidden strength we never knew we possessed. It takes a lot of courage to step up and own your responsibilities when life feels like it is falling apart. I hope you realize that having a solid support system can change the entire trajectory of your future. Sometimes, choosing peace means setting firm boundaries with people who do not have your best interests at heart. Real growth happens when you stop viewing your situation as a burden and start seeing it as a chance to build something better. It is okay to be scared of the unknown, as long as you keep moving forward one step at a time. I want you to remember that your past mistakes do not have to define who you become as a partner or a parent. Investing in yourself and your education is one of the most powerful ways to secure a stable life for those you love. Always be grateful for the people who stand by you when things get tough, because their kindness is a rare gift. Let this inspire you to stay resilient and never give up on creating the peaceful life you deserve. If you like the stories, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.